down the words and hope they come out right. It's been a while since I've been outside. Since I've been held in my cell, I can't see the light. And this is more of a struggle than it is a fight, to ignore the demons that eat at my mind. And the things they are saying are not very kind. And inside my brain, there is very little refuge to hide behind. And still I pray to God that this serenity I will find, to accept the things he has set in line, to know that pain and struggle ends in time. Lately, I do think back to when I did what I did. Tried to solve my problems, but I didn't solve shit. Tried to take my life's daily stresses and sew them, hem them into my funeral dresses. I took a razor and sharpened the blade, indulged myself in my self-hate, watched the blood trickle and relished in the sting, and to think that I think it was a beautiful thing. I sat on the floor speaking to a stranger. She told me she felt that I was too much of a danger. A danger, I said, what do you mean? It means, she said, you're not safe, Kathleen. And I wasn't. I'll admit, I endangered myself, but I didn't care when I took those pills off the shelf, popped them one by one and two by two, and I thought it was the right thing to do. I couldn't control it, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop crying, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop, so I kept going. Thinking I was strong, so I kept going. Knowing it was wrong, but I kept going. I made a fist and hit myself hard, and I kept going until the tears would start. Then I wrapped the cord around my neck, watched myself choke. I'd spit and I'd cough and I'd let my tears soak whatever shirt I had on at the time. I didn't give a shit, I wanted to die. I needed to die, I needed to leave. Something in my head said the world didn't need me. Fast forward a little and I was in shock as I looked up at the lights. I was in the emergency room for 9 hours that night. And I couldn't fathom what the hell was going on. I couldn't figure out where the hell it went wrong. I couldn't understand why I didn't just die. And I looked at the social worker and started to cry. I was never so lost. I was never so off. I never felt so stupid, but I couldn't bring myself to stop. I can't remember their names anymore, but I remember their faces. He held me in the ambulance and he transferred me to different places. I don't remember his name anymore, but I told him all about me. And he held his hands in front of me and laid them on my gurney. And for the moment, the world had stopped and life wasn't in a hurry. He said he was proud of me. And imagine my surprise, I was strapped in an ambulance, but he said I was a blessing in disguise. He said the world needed more people like me, and to keep on living, to keep on breathing. Those words struck as I was confined, and I was so tired from battling my mind. The hospital was sad, the hospital was jail. It was scary and dark, and I've never felt so frail. I held the rosary, I was so alone and afraid. I looked around in the room that I stayed, and the walls were this bland blue shade. The pain in my head would never fade, and I looked at my wrists, oh, they were scarred. And I asked how I ever let it get that far. And I knew from then on that it was time to fight, because God gave me life and he would take it back when the time was right. And I woke up shaking, throwing up what I ate. I cursed God and myself for this fucked up fate. I dry heaved in the morning, and I had this awful dream, and I couldn't differentiate from what was real and what seemed. I would fall asleep in my sweat and blood and want to give up. I was delirious, I'm serious, but I know I had to live up to what I had promised I would be. A strong woman, and I shouldn't. No, a woman wouldn't subject herself to anything less than the best. I passed my own test, and I will not stress, refuse to be depressed ever again, because on 10/27, I died and created heaven. I decided to be an OG instead of casualty by an OD. Though my heart feels heavy and hard, happy is never far, and I'm on my way there, I'm almost there, and life won't always be fair, fairness is typically rare. But I got hope to lift me up from my fall, and I have my faith and love to get me through it all. And last but not least, I have the life I want to live, the voice of reasons I want to give, the power to resist the negative and turn it into the positive. I promise to give life this second dance, so thank you, God.